How can a building that's essentially a field surrounded by seats cost more than a skyscraper, an airport, or an entire neighborhood? We're not talking about thousands of dollars, we're talking about billions. SoFi Stadium cost $5 billion. Tottenham's new ground cost $1.3 billion. Even smaller venues regularly cost more than $500 million to build. But here's the thing, these stadiums aren't expensive by accident. They're expensive because of what they've become. And once you understand why, you'll see them completely differently. 20 years ago, a stadium was simple, a place to watch sports. You had seats, you had sightlines, you had concessions. Done. Modern stadiums, they're something else entirely. They're entertainment complexes, technology hubs, luxury destinations. They're expected to work in any climate, serve thousands of simultaneous events, and deliver an experience so premium that fans forget they're watching from the nosebleed seats. That expectation that a stadium should be an engineering marvel, a tech platform, and an architectural statement all at once, that's what drives the cost up. And the best way to understand why is to look at 4 stadiums that prove it. Each one solved a different problem, but together they show you why modern stadiums have become some of the most expensive buildings on earth. Let's start in Los Angeles. When the Rams and Chargers opened SoFi Stadium in 2020, they didn't just build a new home, they built a statement about scale. $5 billion. That's more than twice what most stadiums cost. More than the entire renovation of the Pentagon's West Wing, more than the Suez Canal expansion, which cost $5.3 billion and took 8 years to redredge an international waterway. So what makes a stadium built for football cost that much? It's not the seats, it's not the field, it's the ambition. The roof of SoFi Stadium is a 60,000-ton membrane structure that cantilevers over the entire building. And you can't hide that weight behind walls. You have to engineer it. The cable-stayed roof system required custom steel fabrication, advanced anchor points, and a foundation system sophisticated enough to handle the dynamic loads. It's the kind of structure engineers would normally justify by year-round use. But it's a stadium. It hosts maybe 20 events a year. You're paying for engineering elegance, not necessity. But there's more. SoFi's field is actually below grade, built partially underground. That meant excavating massive amounts of soil, designing a sophisticated drainage system to handle Los Angeles rainfall and groundwater, and engineering walls that could contain the weight of hundreds of thousands of tons of structure. And then there's earthquake engineering. Southern California sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire. Every major structure here has to survive extreme seismic activity. That's not a feature you see, but it's baked into every beam, every connection, every foundation pour. It's invisible engineering that costs real money. SoFi teaches us the first lesson about modern stadium costs. Scale requires exponential engineering investment. It's not a linear relationship. Double the roof span and you don't double the engineering cost. You triple it. The systems become more complex, the tolerances tighten, the safety factors demand redundancy. SoFi didn't cost $5 billion because of seats or scoreboard or concessions. It cost $5 billion because someone decided to build a massive architectural gesture, and then the engineering had to back that gesture up. Now fly across the Atlantic to North London. Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium opened in 2019 and cost $1.3 billion, less than SoFi, but on a much tighter site with far more complex requirements. But it's not the cost that makes Tottenham interesting, it's what the cost paid for, because Tottenham Stadium isn't just a football ground anymore. It's a technology platform. Tottenham's pitch doesn't stay in one place, it retracts. Hydraulically driven, precision-engineered grass system that can move in and out of the stadium, allowing the ground to transform between football and American football in hours. Why? Because stadiums now need to be revenue engines. One event per week on a football pitch isn't enough. Modern stadiums host concerts, American football, rugby, esports tournaments, even corporate events. The building can't be a single-purpose structure anymore. It has to be a platform. And that flexibility costs money. The retractable pitch alone required custom engineered hydraulic systems, precision underground infrastructure, drainage systems, sophisticated enough for both grass and hard surfaces, structural supports that can handle the pitch weight and support standing room for other events. But there's another reason Tottenham cost what it did. The expectation of luxury isn't optional anymore. Modern stadiums are expected to generate revenue from every angle. That means premium hospitality spaces, not just executive boxes, climate controlled restaurants, private suites with premium services, members only clubs. These aren't afterthoughts, they're central to the revenue model and the technology infrastructure to support them. High-speed networking, security systems, point-of-sale integration, Wi-Fi dense enough for 60,000 simultaneous users. That's not simple. That's custom engineering. Tottenham also features one of the most advanced stadium security and access systems in the world. Multiple entry points, facial recognition, real-time crowd flow management. Modern stadiums have to be fortresses and welcomes simultaneously. Tottenham teaches us the second lesson. Modern stadiums are no longer single-purpose buildings. They're multipurpose technology platforms, and flexibility costs real money. A football-only stadium is cheap. A stadium that has to transform between football, American football, concerts, and corporate events while maintaining premium hospitality and cutting-edge security? That's a different animal entirely. You're not just building a venue, you're building a system. Now consider this, Las Vegas. Allegiant Stadium opened in 2020 and cost $1.9 billion. That might seem reasonable compared to SoFi, but the real story is what that cost represents. Las Vegas summers hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit regularly. The sun is relentless. And yet, the stadium had to provide to 60,000 fans sitting inside a controlled, comfortable environment for hours. You can't compromise on that expectation. Modern stadiums have a climate comfort obligation. Unlike SoFi or Tottenham, which benefited from moderate climates, Allegiant exists in one of the most hostile environments for human comfort. Building here isn't a choice, it's a constraint that ripples through every engineering decision. First, the envelope. The stadium is almost entirely enclosed with only strategic openings. That envelope had to be thermally efficient without being oppressive. You still need sightlines, airflow, the feeling of openness. Second, cooling systems. Allegiant requires massive industrial cooling infrastructure. We're talking about multiple redundant chiller systems, distributed ductwork, and cooling capacity that would make most office buildings look tiny. The mechanical systems alone account for a significant portion of the construction cost. But you can't compromise because failure means thousands of people in extreme heat. Here's what's important. Allegiant Stadium proves that modern stadium costs aren't determined by location alone. They're determined by the mismatch between location and expectation. Las Vegas is a desert, but modern stadium audiences expect the same experience in Las Vegas as they do in London or Los Angeles. That expectation requires engineering solutions. Those solutions cost money. The lesson: when you build a premium experience in a harsh environment, you're not just paying for the building, you're paying for the systems that defy the environment. Finally, Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Stadium opened in 2017 and cost $1.5 billion. It's less expensive than SoFi, less technically complex than Tottenham, and climate-wise less challenging than Allegiant. So why does it matter? Because it proves that modern stadium costs are also determined by choice, by architectural ambition, and the commitment to sustainability. Mercedes-Benz's defining feature is its retractable roof. But unlike Tottenham's pitch, this isn't about multi-purpose flexibility. It's about creating a building that can transform its relationship with the environment. The Oculus roof consists of 8 retractable panels that open to reveal the sky. It's mechanically complex, requires precision engineering, and serves a singular purpose: to create moments where the indoor experience connects with the outdoor world. This is where modern stadium design collides with architecture as art. The roof costs extra money because it's beautiful, because it creates emotional moments, because architects and owners have decided that stadiums should be architectural statements, not just functional structures. But there's another layer: sustainability. Mercedes-Benz is LEED Platinum certified. That certification required advanced energy management systems, solar power generation, water recycling systems, high efficiency mechanical systems, smart lighting that adjusts based on occupancy, and daylight recycled and locally sourced materials. None of this is free. LEED Platinum certification adds 5 to 10% to construction costs. But modern stadiums are increasingly expected to be environmentally responsible. It's not a luxury anymore, it's an obligation. And then there's the design itself. Mercedes-Benz Stadium is expensive looking because it is expensive. The architects chose premium materials, the finishes are refined, the spatial design creates a sense of generosity and quality throughout the building. That's not accidental, that's a choice. In the same way that SoFi's roof engineering is a premium choice, Mercedes-Benz's material finishes are a premium choice. You could build the same stadium with cheaper materials and simpler design. It would cost $200 to $300 million less. But modern stadiums, especially corporate-named stadiums, are now expected to reflect the brand of the corporation. They have to feel expensive. That expectation drives cost. Mercedes-Benz teaches us the fourth lesson: modern stadiums are architectural and environmental statements, not just functional structures. And design ambition, sustainability commitment, and brand expression all have real costs. So why are modern stadiums so expensive? It's not one reason, it's all of them. SoFi shows us that scale demands exponential engineering investment. You can't build massive architectural gestures without backing them up with cutting-edge structural systems. Tottenham shows us that modern stadiums are multi-purpose platforms. They're not just football grounds anymore. They're revenue engines that have to transform between uses while maintaining premium experiences. Allegiant shows us that environmental constraints drive expensive solutions. When you commit to providing comfort in harsh conditions, you're paying for systems that defy nature. And Mercedes-Benz shows us that architecture and sustainability have price tags. Design ambition and environmental responsibility aren't free. Modern stadiums are expensive because they're solving multiple hard problems simultaneously. They're engineering marvels, they're technology platforms, they're architectural statements, they're environmental commitments, they're luxury destinations, and they have to be all of those things at once. That combination, that ambition, is what drives the cost. Stadiums used to be simple buildings. Now they're some of the most complex structures humans build, and the price reflects that complexity. The real question isn't why are modern stadiums so expensive? The real question is, what are we actually building when we build a modern stadium? And the answer is, we're building systems, we're building statements, we're building experiences, and that always costs more than we think.